Super Bowl fallout, Super Bowl hangover, Super Bowl fatigue. One of the interesting things right off the bat we like to talk about is ratings, and more ratings. The Super Bowl always gets ratings, but Teddy, a little bit of dip in the ratings this year. Are we getting a little Patriots fatigue out there?
I think so. I mean, you could say it's a little bit from column A and a little bit from column B. Some of it, I think, is Patriots fatigue. Some of it is that the Rams don't have a full fan base. And some of it is that it wasn't the most entertaining game for the casual audience. So you put those three factors together, and you have the lowest Super Bowl ratings in the last 10 years. Somehow, I think next year, the Patriots don't get the call in the AFC Championship game. Obviously, ratings, not what the NFL were hoping for. All the words about plummets, though. I mean, plummets? Really? It was down a little bit. Still a Super Bowl rating that saw more than 100 million people in the U.S. watching. So even down ratings, everyone still watched the Super Bowl.
Yep, Super Bowl bonuses, Teddy, probably still coming along here to those NFL executives and also like CBS executives. So I wouldn't worry too much about them. But there was a little bit of a hangover in one city out there, Teddy. Most people get hungover in the city, but this one was a Super Bowl hangover in New Orleans. Almost half the people, Teddy, again, New Orleans didn't play in the Super Bowl last year, and obviously, due to a controversial call, didn't play it again this year. But almost half the people who watched it last year, Teddy, didn't watch it this year. Painful still for those people down in New Orleans.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately for New Orleans and moving forward, I mean, this is not a major media market. And, right now, the New Orleans is a team with 2 sports franchises. I don't know how much longer the Pelicans are going to last there. So you guys better love your Saints. It might be all you have, 5 years from now. The market's not big enough for the NFL to care about it.
Yeah, no, and we'll keep it moving here. Teddy, plays that decided the Super Bowl, since we didn't get a chance to on Monday. And if you guys are watching right now here, we don't have what we call the TriCaster out, so we're doing this on Google Hangouts. The reason being, Teddy, I think you understand this, there was so much information and energy in Hocko Beach that it burned out. So we have to come to you live from Google Hangouts at this point. But taking a look at the game itself, Teddy, there wasn't a lot of scoring, obviously, with the 13-3 final, but there were some key plays that we all took a look at that say, boy, if this would have happened, something might have changed. And I think no bigger than, Teddy, the wide open play to Brandon Cooks over the middle, which Jared Goff saw late, floated it, and a defensive back was able to come over and make a play on that one. It was 3-0 at the time. I know they ended up tying it at 3-3 on that, but a 7-3 lead might have changed the atmosphere of that football game for the Los Angeles Rams. Huge play nonetheless, Teddy, but there was a couple big plays in this one as well.
Well, I mean, certainly the 2 passes where Cooks would have been open for a touchdown had Goff been able to get the ball into his hands. The second one in the fourth quarter down 7. Remember, the play after that was, I'm not going to call it the game-sealing interception because it was still 7 minutes at that point, but it felt like the Rams were in big, big trouble after the second pick, or after the second time Cooks was open for a TD and Goff couldn't get him the football in the right way. But at the same time, you talk about key plays and key catches. Who made the plays? Cooks didn't. Gronk did. Gronk had 2 key catches on the touchdown scoring drive. And then Sony Michel with the 2-yard touchdown run for the only TD of the game. That means he scored the first touchdown. That means he scored the last touchdown. And that means the over 1.5 for the longest TD of the game. Thanks, Michel. He couldn't get stopped at the 1-yard line and just punch it in from there. But the whole point is that New England was never pressured. They never had to get out of their game plan because they never trailed. So there was no pressure on Brady. There was no pressure on them to adjust offensively. The defense got the job done. Had LA taken that early 7-3 lead, a completely different ballgame, because now New England's got to do something. Patriots front 7 was dominant. And, you talk about who won the MVP. Edelman won the MVP. I'd give it to the Patriots front 7. They were pretty strong in that ballgame against what had been a really good offensive line and a quarterback that hadn't looked like a lost rookie for most of the season like he did.
Yeah, it was really interesting, Teddy, when we talk about the coaching, inadequacies in this game, I like to say from the Rams perspective, maybe not getting Gurley involved enough. We even had a couple of interviews at the half then, they're down at the Betcast, and we're saying it's a 3-0 game because we've seen it a lot in betting circles there where you figured the Patriots should have been up more than 3 points, so that was going to be a positive for the Rams. But they asked, hey, Donnie, sitting on a 2.5 ticket, which I was, it's halftime, knowing what it's 3-0. Would you bet the Rams in the second half? And to be honest, Teddy, I was like, even though I thought the Rams possibly could come back, I was having that feeling saying, you know what? They haven't shown me anything. And then we saw the one play. It's 3-3. The Rams get the football in the fourth quarter. They're driving. And you want to say phantom call, mishold call, but the call happened there. It was going to be a first down. They were going to move into Patriots territory after Todd Gurley had that play. And then you had 3 straight bad plays and a punt, and then you saw that Gronk pass, the Gronk wheel route to start the drive, and it ended with, obviously, the deep pass to Gronkowski, which was a dime right down the field by Tom Brady. No surprise, been making those throws all his career, to the Sony Michel touchdown. When watching this game, Teddy, I know, like, just from a different perspective there, did you ever feel the Rams really had a shot in this one? Because it just felt to me like whatever the Rams got in the way of offense, it seemed like it was just hard to get the entire way.
I thought they had a shot because it wasn't like the Patriots were marching up and down the field. You know, Wade Phillips' game plan was tremendous on Sunday. It really was. And you're talking about a Patriots team that got shut down. You don't win Super Bowls when you don't score 14 points. As long as your offense does something, you know. But the calls, again, and every one of them went against the Rams. And controversy or not, you know, you had a controversial call 3 minutes into the game. You're like, what are the refs doing? Really? You guys didn't learn your lesson? You had the complete phantom call on the only good drive that the Rams had all day prior to the interception when Gurley got Gurley's long run got called back on a holding. And then, of course, you had Goff going out of bounds and no flag on the New England defenders. You know, if Brady would have been going out of bounds there, there'd have been 8 flags, and that drive would have been extended. So, you know, the refs just can't get themselves out of controversy. And again, New England got all the calls, all the meaningful calls in a game where, you know, there was 3-1 penalties. Rams had 3 times more penalties than the Patriots.
Yeah, it was, you know, as we were doing the show live, last year, 41-33, I'm an Eagles fan. Of course, I'm going to enjoy the game as is, but you got to jump up and down, Teddy. You got to get excited, especially if you were cheering for your ticket. I feel bad for the people who were sitting on over tickets because it was pretty apparent right away that wasn't going to be coming anywhere near close. And the one thing that was interesting that we kept looking at, Teddy, was the actual live in-game numbers where it was like, all right, it's 45.5, it's 40.5, it's 35. Teddy, it got down to 14 points. I don't know if I've ever seen that in an NFL game. Crazy.
It doesn't happen often, but it does happen in a game where the defense is dominating. And again, we've never seen this is the lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. Obviously, the late field goal from Greg the Leg, no good, which means even if you were playing squares, there was nothing to cheer about. It was all 0s and 3s every quarter for the entire game. So it didn't matter how you were betting it. You know, the only guys cheering were under bettors for this one. If you had a Rams ticket in your pocket, there was nothing. I mean, there wasn't one play, except for Brady's interception early in the game.
Yes.
That's the loudest cheer of the day for Rams backers. That was it. You know, you can understand why the ratings were down. It wasn't a particularly exciting game. The commercials weren't, you know, the best commercial was the NFL commercial. The commercials didn't blow you away. And it's a team that everyone's seen in the Super Bowl many, many times before. So, you know, the league pulled out all the stops to get these 2 teams in the Super Bowl. And then they got them there and the ratings were down. So, you know, maybe hopefully lesson learned for the NFL. People want to see the best teams. They want to see the exciting players, not necessarily the players they've seen 100 times before or the biggest media markets.
Which I would like to say, Teddy, thank you to bookmakers who still keep the games interesting. Why? Because of props, and more props. No matter what the score of the game was, we were watching a multitude of things that happening. The highest juice wager, Teddy, that I lost on, which I thought would have a really good shot on, paid a -370 price to get a 4th down conversion. Had a couple shots at 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Patriots actually went for it on a 4th and 2 and did not get it. At the end of the football game, 4th and inches, Teddy. I was cheering even though I had a Rams ticket, which is probably going to lose, for a quarterback sneak by Tom Brady. Did not get that there. The one other interesting one, which came down late for me, Teddy, is I had both teams to kick a field goal, which that actually cashed at 3-3. But then late in the game, the Patriots get a field goal. The Rams coming down the field because I had both teams to kick over 1.5 field goals. The Zerline miss hurt me. How about some prop bets out there that you cashed in or took a look at that made a difference in that Super Bowl game?
Oh, my gosh. There were a lot
Hundreds.
of them. Put it that way. Let me just open up some stuff over here. But certainly the shortest touchdown of the game, I had under 1.5 yards.
Gronk couldn't have fell down at the 1 for you, Teddy? I mean, why did he fall down at the 2-yard line for you there?
Yeah. The difference between Gronk being marked down to the 2 and marked down to the 1 was significant.
Yep.
That was -150 I laid there. I had no score the first 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. That was all good.
Yep.
The second half being the higher scoring half, that really wasn't much of a sweat when it was 3-0. at halftime. And as soon as the Rams kick that field goal, you can't lose anymore.
Yeah, we joked about that at the Betcast. I was like, wow, imagine that getting 3 points in the second half going, oh, I can't lose now. It's great.
Well, you couldn't lose on a tie. You could lose if the score finished 3-2.
Yeah, correct.
Or 3-0.
I meant when it got 3-3, it was like, hey, man, we got a good one here.
I had Aaron Donald and Jared Goff for MVP. Those two didn't work out real well.
Yeah.
Well, the one that really frustrated me, I really thought we were going to get in a situation, if there'd have been some scoring, that we get a 2-point conversion.
Yes.
Well, either team attempted to avoid conversion. I had the yes. That was no good. I had the shortest touchdown under, no good. First turnover of the game, that was good. The pick early on, there was no sweat there. I had first turnover of the game and interception, though I also had over 2.5 players to get a pass attempt. Only 2 here. Edelman, however, did get his rushing attempt, actually multiple. The Patriots in general went over 7.5 guys to get a rushing attempt. New England ran everybody. Or was it 7? No, it's 5.5. But there were ample guys for New England to get rushing attempts. Edelman, Patterson, obviously, getting their opportunities, as well as the Patriots' backs and their quarterback.
Yeah, I saw another one too, Teddy, that looks like it didn't come in there. The Tom Brady rushing yards, I believe it was like over 1.5 or over 2.5 at some different spots. Obviously didn't run the ball at all, and then you take some knees at the end of the first half and at the end of the football game, which changed that up. Also was able to cash in on a game tied after the first score was -130. Obviously, they kicked the field goal to make it 3-3. The one I was hoping for also, Teddy, since it was going to be a closer game, which is what I thought, was the lead change in the fourth quarter was +200, and obviously you change into a 3-3 game, you might have a good shot at that, at a touchdown coming the other way, or maybe a field goal and a touchdown. That one didn't work out for me as well, but a multitude of stuff. That's the one thing that keeps it going and keeps it fun with all these prop bets, as opposed to if you just sat on the Rams ticket or an over ticket, you could certainly cheer some stuff on. That betting show, people, February 5th, 2019, your one-stop shop for all your sports betting needs. Then it puts a bow on the Super Bowl. Any quick, little quips about the offseason? Because now that we put it to bed, no more football. We move forward to some different outlets out there. The NBA, the NHL, college basketball, baseball's up there. Put a nice little bow on the Super Bowl for us, Teddy.
Well, look, there's people talking about future book odds right now. I was asked on a couple of shows yesterday, who do you like in the future book next year? This is what I like in the future book next year. Stick your money in your pocket right now and keep it there till at least the start of free agency, at a minimum, because we don't know what these teams are going to look like right now. So look at the markets. Future book odds tend to be poor wagers to begin with. And when you're talking about locking up your money for the next year, you better be darn sure you're getting a number that's not going to be there a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now. And guess what? All those numbers are still going to be there come April, come draft-wise, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the draft will move the numbers, and a big free agent signing will move the numbers. But now, no urgency whatsoever to get involved in next year's NFL or college football betting marketplace. You'll have chances, plenty of chances before the season starts. Now's not the time to do it.
Yep, feels like we just kicked off Atlanta and the Philadelphia Eagles to start the the football season. Now it's at an end. Free agency coming up. A lot of interesting stuff to keep your eye on here at sportsbookreview.com.